Hello everybody, and just here and welcome to Story Time. Story Time with Gundam, Witch from Mercury, the novel. The novel by Ichiro Okoichi, if I read that correctly. If not, do forgive me. Translated by Eriko Sugita. Titled Cradle Planet. I was intending to read this light novel a bit earlier. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had the plans to do that the last week, but unfortunately, some schedule changes at my job prevented me from doing that. So we are doing it right now. It was supposed to be a live stream as well, and instead, it is a recording. Mostly because this novel seems a bit shorter than I thought it's going to be, so I don't know how much point there would be to making it a live stream. That, and also I want to just get it done and really read it, release it before I watch episode 7, and I'm gonna be watching episode 7 very, very shortly. It's still gonna be a week late, but again, scheduling things at my job. My job isn't great at management, so things like that happen. In any case, yeah, I got some tea. It's rooibos, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's rooibos. Super hot, though. And I got the text in front of me, and you will also see the text. So, how about now? We just get to reading Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury, Cradle Planet by Ichiro Okoichi, translated by Eriko Sugita. I know that this novel takes place between the prologue of Witch from Mercury and the first episode, so maybe it will clear up some things, maybe it won't. I'm not gonna treat it as a spoiler because it's canonically set between those two points in time, and it was released before the main series was. So it's perfect. It should be perfectly fine to read it. Some people urged me to do that, so let's do just that. Here goes. The orbital base Pebicolombo 23 rotates around Mercury with a fine balance despite the instability caused by the sun's gravity. Because Mercury is only 57,910,000 kilometers from the sun, direct contact with the planet's heat would instantly boil human blood. But on the other hand, when you enter the planet's shadow, the extreme cold drops below minus 100 degrees. There's no way that humans could live on Mercury. The powerful charged particles that come flying from the sun cause intermittent system malfunctions. These solar winds are deadly on this planet, where the slightest error can result in death. A buzzing sound rings out, and the hangar lights turn dark red. A solar flare has occurred, causing the alarm to go off and switching the entire base to emergency mode. Suletta makes her way through the pitch dark base. Still only 6 years old, Suletta is afraid of the dark red lights. At times like this, Suletta often climbs inside me. Ariel, will you let me in? Ariel, that's my name. It's a secret to the outside world, but I'm a Gundam-type mobile suit. Suletta comes to me when Mom is busy with work. At present, there are no other children at Mercury, and so I'm the only friend she has. Ariel, call up a game. She works the controls on my console and brings up a game screen. I wonder what she wants to play today. A shooting game. I'm going to beat Mom today. Suletta's mother is my developer, as well as a Gundam test pilot. Mom and Suletta are both great at these kinds of games. Wasn't Suletta about 4 years old when she chose this game for the first time? 2 years have passed since then, and Suletta is the best player at Mercury. Except for Mom, of course. Whoa, she's getting a terrific score. It looks like she's gotten even better. Look, Ariel, look! Ah, a high score. She's jumping up and down happily in her seat. That's my Suletta, my little pilot. One day, Suletta, who is now 9, comes to me in tears. She says one of Mercury's elders has been mean to her, but she hasn't told Mom. Why not? Because she'll worry. Mom came to this planet with her daughter, seeking refuge. People had hidden them, but that didn't mean everyone had been friendly, and some elders had argued for expelling them to avoid trouble. Still, this was the only place that they could go. They had to live here. There was no other choice. Hey, Ariel? Yeah? What's Earth like? Suletta had been too young to remember living anywhere but Mercury, so she's very curious about life in the Earth sphere. So she's very curious about life in the Earth sphere that she's seen in my library. Schools, cities, friends, children, people take those things for granted in the Earth sphere, but here they're non existent. All you have here are days spent mining for resources while dreading the solar winds. Living like that, it's no wonder Mercury's elders are cranky. I bring up a menu to see if Suletta wants to watch something in my library. She chooses her favorite anime. Anime, movies, novels, everything in my library is set in the Earth sphere. I think watching them lets Suletta forget about Mercury for a while. 30 minutes later, Suletta finishes watching her favorite anime and quietly mutters to herself, "If you run, gain 1. Move forward, gain 2. Mom taught me those words." Oh, wait. If you run, gain 1. Move forward, gain 2. Mom taught her those words. Suletta had been 5 at the time, trying to get away as Mom was about to give her an injection. "Listen, Suletta, if you run away, you won't have to get this shot, right?" "Right." "You'll gain the advantage. You'll gain the avoidance of pain." "Yeah." "What'll happen if I do give you this shot?" "I won't get sick." "Right. What else?" "What else?" "There are other things you'll gain if you don't run. For example, you'll make your mother happy." "Huh?" "You'll impress the people of Mercury. They'll accept you, thinking you're amazing." "They will?" "You'll level up and shots won't hurt you anymore." "Really?" "Really. That's why grown-ups aren't afraid of getting shots." "They aren't?" "No. So, you see, you'll gain a lot if you don't run." "So, if I move forward, I gain 2?" "That's right. More than 2." More than 2. Since that day, those words have become a magical charm to push Suletta forward. These words must have had the same effect on Mom. Those words must have had the same effect on Mom. They were her own spell for a single woman who had to struggle here at Mercury while caring for her young daughter. "If you run, gain 1. Move forward, gain 2." Suletta repeats the words in a soft voice, as if trying to untangle a mess of knotted threads. I wait for the spell to take effect. That's when Suletta's entire being will brim with courage and break the curse of fear. It's okay. She'll be able to step out of me on her own, because Mom's words are powerful. "Attention, Ariel, prepare to scramble. An incident has occurred near Chao Meng Fu mining base on Mercury's surface," a tense voice announces in the hangar. "A mobile craft has gone missing while mining for resources." "Sorry I'm late." Suletta, who is now 11, jumps into my cockpit. "Solar light active, high energy photon phenomena observed, but no surface landing issues. Hurry!" Mercury is still a very dangerous place for humanity to live. That's why we're sent out whenever an incident occurs. After all, we're the best team at Mercury. We've saved the lives of elders many times. That's why more and more people are grateful to Mom and Suletta, and fewer elders treat them as aggressively as they used to. No objects along descent course. Launch permission granted." "Roger. Ariel, switch to surface descent maneuvers immediately after launch." We fly out of the gate and into space. The heat of the scorching sun hits us immediately. Suletta quickly leaps into the shadows of a crater. Now we can avoid direct sunlight. Proceeding through the crater's shadows, we rush to the scene of the accident. "How long since we lost signal?" 97 minutes. We don't know the current location since we can't receive a signal. Please hurry, Suletta," pleads Operations Controller Melissa Preluda. The missing person is not Peluda. Pleads Operations Controller Melissa Peluda. The missing person is Ergo Peluda, Melissa's husband. Ergo's the leader of the elders who are still missing. Ergo. Fuck. Ergo's the leader of the elders who are still mistreating Suletta. He was originally against the idea of taking them in, and now he's working under Mom after her recent promotion. I can understand his situation, but it's no reason to be mean to Suletta. What a childish old man. But Suletta promptly replies, It's okay, Miss Melissa, leave it to us. She's a good girl. We avoid sunlight as we head towards the scene. Mountains, valleys, canyons. Suletta knows how to use all the features of Mercury's terrain to take the shortest path and which routes put the least strain on a mobile suit. We've detected a signal. I display the signal data on my monitor. We found him, now proceeding with recovery. Please, Suletta. In response to Melissa's request, we leap out on a rift in the ground surface. The sun's heat suddenly hits us, along with its high energy particle emissions. Even I'll be in trouble if this keeps up. Suletta looks around calmly and finds the mobile craft right away. It looks like there was a cave in during excavation work. The machine is right off. The mobile craft is buried in a sediment collapse. Our only option is to pry open the cockpit door and rescue the pilot. Suletta draws her beam saber. Ariel, I'm adjusting the output. She turns down the output. One mistake and she'll cut through the pilot as well. Ever so gingerly, the beam saber makes contact with the craft. Suletta carefully cuts through the cockpit section, wielding her beam saber as precisely as a surgeon. The base controller doesn't say anything. She knows it's better to leave things to Suletta rather than giving her clumsy instructions. Mr. Ergo, can you hear me? I've come to help you. Suletta, what took you? Hurry up and get me out of here. He's being arrogant despite his current position. But that doesn't seem to bother Suletta, who gently pulls Ergo out of the mobile craft. Mr. Ergo, do you have any air? My spurs were crushed in the accident. I only have 7 minutes left. I'm going to die. It's okay. We'll be home in 4 minutes. Don't lie to me. Don't you realize how far we are from the base? She isn't lying. If Suletta says we'll be back in 4, we'll be back in 4. Please keep your eyes closed. Holding Ergo so he won't be exposed to the sun, I take I take a giant leap. I can see there's nothing wrong with his spacesuit. It should last another 4 minutes. We weave our way through the rifts in the ground surface. I can hear Ergo screaming. Suletta is perfectly calm, but it's a speed that would terrify the average person. Nonetheless, Ergo's screaming means he hasn't run out of air, so at least it confirms he's still alive. Suletta uses her beam rifle to take a shot at a cliff. It breaks apart, and another rift appears behind it. It's a shortcut. The gate of Chao Meng Fu mining base comes into view and slowly opens to let us in. We leap through. It takes us exactly 4 minutes to pass through 3 airtight doors into the residential area, just as Suletta said. Everyone in the base is waiting inside the gate to the residential area. After confirming that Ergo still has air, Suletta puts him down. Ergo takes off his helmet and explodes at her. He's a lively old man. How irresponsible, treating an elder so roughly. You couldn't care less if I died, could you? Then Melissa runs to him and takes him into her arms. Welcome back, Ergo. The old man becomes quiet as his wife embraces him. Yeah, I'm home. An air of relief is evident among the people who have gathered to meet him. Welcome home, Suletta. Mom appears on my monitor. Mom, I didn't know you were back. Mom has been busier and busier since receiving her promotion, and it isn't unusual for her to be away in the Earth sphere. It's been a while since she last came home, and she just happened to see her daughter's great work. You did well, Suletta. Your mother is proud of you. It's it's thanks to the aerial you created. You're both fantastic. I feel good when Mom smiles. It tells me that I've met her expectations. How long will you be home this time, Mom? I'm planning to be here until your birthday. This year we'll have a big party to make up for the birthday I missed last year, and we'll celebrate 2 birthdays at once. 2 birthdays in once. Yay! Suletta bursts into joy. But this 11th birthday will be the last one she celebrates with Mom. Suletta has turned 15. Mom continues to be as busy as ever, going back and forth between Mercury and the Earth sphere. Every year she is unable to join her daughter for her birthday. Suletta, all alone, has started shutting herself inside me again. What are schools like? I don't know. I've never been to one either. I wonder if it's like in this comic. That's fiction. Besides, that comic's pretty old. I'd like to go to school. This teenager's mind is preoccupied with school life. They're filled with kids her own age, and their days are full of excitement and fun. The schools depicted in comics and movies must seem shiny and glorious. But you know what, Suletta? We can't go back to the Earth sphere. You probably don't know this, but people there call Mom a witch and the whole world rejects her. And if they discover that I'm a Gundam, they'd probably tear me apart on the spot. So, I'm afraid your dream won't be coming true. But don't worry, you'll always have me. Even if you can't go to school or make new friends, I'll still be with you. Hey, Ariel, Suletta whispers as if sharing a secret. If the day ever comes when I get to school, we'll go together. When I get to go to school, we'll go together. Oh, after I'm done reading, we're gonna talk a little bit about it because there's things to talk about. Mom has returned to Mercury after an extended absence, and Suletta is overjoyed. She tells Mom how hard she's been working and what she's learned during this time. Though Suletta is now 16, she still goes to bed early like a little kid. That night, Mom comes to the hangar alone. There's nobody there but me. Welcome back, Mom. We haven't been alone like this in a long time. Suletta's overjoyed that you're back, you know. Ariel, I'm home. Be happy for me. The door has opened. The door? What are you talking about? They're holding mobile suit duels at the Asticassia School of Technology, and the winner will marry Delling's only daughter. Delling is the president of the Benerit Group. This Mercury base is also part of the group's property. That's why the people of Mercury were hesitant to accept us. It was President Delling who labeled Mam and the others as witches and launched a witch hunt against them. Ariel, I want the two of you to go to school. The two of us? Does she mean me and Suletta? You're my masterpiece. You'll be Suletta's sword. No, no, Mom, I don't mind going, but not Suletta. She's such a good girl. If you want revenge, you and I can do it ourselves. Just keep her out of this. But Mom can't hear my voice. Just you watch, everybody. Our daughter is going to avenge us. The next day, the oblivious Suletta comes to me with a big smile on her face. Hey, Ariel, guess what? I'm going to school. I know. Mom told me last night. Mom took care of the admission procedures for me. She says to study hard so I can make Mercury a better place. I'm going to do my best. I'll make this planet where no one dies and I'll bring in lots of cities, shops, and schools. Oh, she doesn't know anything. I wish I could tell her what's going on, that Mom is using her as a tool for revenge. But I can't go against Mom. She's the parent who created me as well. I wonder if I'll be able to manage. I've never had any human friends, and besides, what if I can't handle the schoolwork? I can see that she's starting to worry. I'm scared. Mercury is all I know, and Mom said she won't be able to go with me. That's right, Suletta. It's absurd to start going to school now, all by yourself. You can study at Mercury, and what will the people here do without you to help them? You don't have to be Mom's tool. You don't have to take on someone else's curse. Should I decline? If I go, I mustn't fail. Enrollment costs money, and I don't want to embarrass her. What should I do? It's okay, Suletta. It's okay to decline. It's okay to run. I can't decide what to do. I should go, right? But run, Suletta. Run, run, run. She can't have heard my voice, but Suletta speaks as if responding to me. If you run, gain one. Move forward, gain two. Right, Ariel? I'm surprised Suletta says she isn't going to run. The little girl who was always crying and came running to me to escape, now she's looking straight ahead. She's turning Mom's words into her own strength. Well, Suletta, I guess you've grown up. You're no longer the little girl who used to hide inside me. I thought I'd been watching over you all along, but now you're the one teaching me a lesson. You know what, Ariel? If we move forward, we'll gain lots of things, not just two. I'll study, of course, make friends, find mentors, and maybe go on dates. Sure, Suletta, that sounds good. It's better to count the things you want to get instead of what you'll lose. Even if you're going to school for the sake of Mom's revenge, and even if it's Mom's words that gave you this courage. Okay, Suletta, go ahead. Gain more than you lose, and make it worth your while. Let's go, Ariel. We'll be fine as long as we're together. That's what I wanted to say to her. Of course we'll be together. We're family. I make my monitor screen blink twice to show my agreement. The end. Okay. That gave us a little bit of insight into Suletta's life, and a little bit of insight into Lady Prospera. Right from the beginning, we know that's a thing that I don't know. Perhaps people familiar with Gundam already know. Maybe it's commonplace in the Gundam universe. I don't know again, but Gundam is sentient. Again, I don't know how often are Gundams sentient in the series, but at least Ariel is, which is interesting and it's important. It's going to be important because if she's sentient, that also implies she can make her own decisions, maybe eventually, perhaps. Like, go against Suletta's wishes to save her, for example, right? Or, I don't know, try to go against someone else's attempts at controlling her, only allowing Suletta to do that. Things like that, maybe. Suletta has been mm, fairly sheltered. Maybe sheltered isn't the correct word. She's been fairly mm, shut in, I guess would be better word, because sheltered implies that she's just sitting at a mansion and nothing bad ever happens to her and she has everything she needs. But no, it's the contrary. And she has a lot of issues. All the elders of Mercury are against Suletta, are against Prospera. Because they are the outsiders and they have been labeled witches. Now, it's interesting, why would Suletta's mother be labeled a witch? Hmm. Assuming Lady Prospera, Suletta's mother, is the same as Aerith's mother from the prologue, and I think it's a fair assumption to make. I thought that she managed to escape without anybody knowing that she managed to escape, or, with her being MIA, essentially. That's why she's hiding behind the mask. But this would imply that the elders of Mercury and the head of the Benerit Corporation knows that she was dealing with Gundams. If you deal with Gundams, if you are a Gundam pilot, you're labeled a witch. So why hasn't she been brought before the bearded dude, the head honcho? Does perhaps the Benerit Group have something to gain from allowing her to live, allowing her to work on Mercury? Does the Benerit Group hope to benefit from Gundam technology? Maybe. Who's to say? But then again, why she's hiding? Although she's not hiding from everybody, so there's also that. Also, an interesting thought. Now, it's based on absolutely nothing, but like DNA identification sounds like something that would be fairly commonplace in this world, in this, age. So it's weird that nobody managed to put two and two together, that Prospero is Suletta's mother, is Aeri's mother from that space station, and that Suletta is Aeri. I think Suletta is Aeri. I think she is. Maybe she's not. Maybe Prospera had another daughter. I don't know. I don't know. But then why would Aeri never be mentioned again? Right? So that's also weird. Uh okay. What else is there? Mm, yeah, Suletta very much wants to go to Earth. She wants to go to school, make friends, learn things like that. And she learned the saying of if you run gain one, move forward gain two. Example being injections. Suletta is very helpful at Mercury, does all the super hard, impossible missions where no regular mobile suit will be able to do them. It's just aerial, and specifically aerial piloted by Suletta, because she's able to move that, for example, move that beam saber with a surgeon's precision. That shows her mastery over the Gundam, her mastery over aerial. Also, an interesting bit that Ariel mentions that it's Suletta driving that beam saber. It's not Ariel. So Ariel is sentient but doesn't have control of herself. Needs a pilot despite having sentience. Also interesting that despite being sentient, Ariel cannot communicate with the outside world besides like blinking the displays. You'd think that a machine, a vehicle given sentience would have a way of communicating with the pilot, with the driver, right? To give some feedback back, to say, hey, maybe you didn't notice, but I noticed on my detectors that there's an enemy approaching from behind us. You know, things like that. Or, hey, Ariel, analyze this sample of rock. And then Suletta is busy fighting and she just gets audio feedback. Doesn't have the time to look at the screen, just gets audio feedback from Ariel that, oh, it's regolite. You can use it to create an electrostatically charged cloud or something, Whatever. You'd think that you give your devices, your machines, sentience for the reason of being able to communicate with them. In this case, part of that communication is just not there. I wonder why that is. I see a couple of possible explanations. One possible explanation being that the capability is here, but it's been sealed, perhaps to make Ariel seem like a normal, regular Gundam, right? So that even Suletta, should she be questioned, at most she's gonna say, "Oh yeah, Ariel is a Gundam," and not, "Oh yeah, Ariel is a super advanced sentient Gundam and she talks to me," because that's like a step above witchcraft in their eyes. Another potential reason would be that all Gundams are sentient, just nobody knows about it. Kind of like the concept of technology that goes past what it's supposed to do to a degree. That not even that technology's creators know what it does. Kind of 40k ish concept of using technology you don't fully understand. People who make Gundams might be thinking that they're giving them super advanced AI, and that's about it. They don't know that said AI evolves sentience eventually. Or they don't know that the AI they create is sentient. So they don't bother giving it capabilities of communicating with the pilot with, I don't know, microphones and speakers, because why would they, right? It's not sentient in their minds, but in reality it is. Another explanation would be that Gundams are sentient, including Ariel, but they aren't treated as humans. So, okay, you are sentient, but you don't get to speak. You don't get a mouth. You have no mouth, but you must scream, oh well, you're a machine anyway. Could be that. Hmm. Could be. That might be reaching. But what we saw of prosthetics, of the degree of modification people can undergo, like having their whole internal organs and entire like chest cavities replaced by machinery, people taking up the faces of others, brainwashing, data storms, and shit like that. Could the secret to Gundams being Gundams be that they have someone's consciousness within them? Could that, although no, because if that was the case, then that would be the big moral issue with Gundams, right? They'd have another good strong point to go against Gundams. Gundams are immoral and in uh, I, I forgot the word. Gundams are immoral because they kill the pilot, they damage the pilot, and what purpose is there to a machine that damages its pilot, right? And then they would have another strong point that to create Gundams, some people have to die and their consciousness has to be transferred. Sure, right now we're taking the prisoners from the death row and we're putting them in tin cans inside of Gundams, but it's still kind of immoral thing to do, so let's not do that. But they never mentioned that. So either it's not universally seen as immoral, or it's just not the case, and I'm reaching way too far with that. Okay, what's next? Yeah, Suletta draws her beam saber. Ariel, I'm adjusting the output. She turns down the output. Um, Suletta carefully cuts through the cockpit section, wielding her beam saber as precisely as a surgeon. So yeah, Ariel doesn't have control of her own body, essentially. Ergo is still a dick, because of course he is a dick. But Suletta, we see just how good Suletta is and just how in sync she is with Ariel. She not only can wield that beam saber really fucking well, but she has full understanding of the speed at which Ariel moves, even to be able to calculate that it's going to take us exactly 4 minutes to go from here to there without even like having to run any calculations or anything like that. She knows instinctively everything about Ariel. 11th birthday will be the last one she celebrates with mom. Hmm. Mom is very much into the politics, or so it would seem. Uh, she seems to be maybe not obsessed. I don't know if that's quite the good word to use here, but kinda with revenge. She's playing the long run. She's playing the long con. She's working her way up in the political chain just to exact her revenge. She doesn't necessarily want a good life for herself. She doesn't necessarily want a good life for Suletta. She doesn't necessarily want a good life for Ariel. She doesn't necessarily want a good life for Mars or for anybody else. She just wants revenge. That's the vibe I'm getting, both from the show and from this novel. Yeah, Suletta wants to go to school, but we can't go back to Earth. People there call Mom a witch, and the whole world rejects her. Yeah, this is interesting. Why is everybody calling Prospera a witch? If we assume that the whole world, the whole Earth sphere doesn't know that she managed to escape from that space station, or maybe they know. Maybe they know, but if so, then why is she allowed to live? Right? You'd think that they would find the first dark alley and just snap her neck and dispose her in a vat of acid. She was there, she's no longer there. Oh well, not the first disappearance, not the last. Why is she allowed to climb a political ladder? if people know she's a witch? Or is it just Ariel's perspective? From when? A period of time where Prospera didn't have a new identity yet, and between Gundam pilots being declared witches? Hmm, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, something doesn't add up. Something doesn't add up. Hmm. Let me check something real quick. Mm-hmm. Something doesn't add up, but what exactly? Then again, we still have pretty much an entire second season. It's basically been confirmed already. So maybe things are going to start adding up. And I shouldn't just be jumping to conclusions. Yeah, second season. That's what I wanted to check. Second season is essentially confirmed. Uh, so something doesn't add up. We don't have to rub it up in the remaining, like, what, I think episode 8 aired today. So in the remaining 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 episodes, we still have 12 more. So, okay. I'm not gonna, like, spend any more time just thinking. Mother returned to Mercury eventually. But it's not a happy return. It's not a happy return. It's a revenge return. Prospera wants to use Suletta as a vehicle for her revenge. And somehow, Delling's only daughter, Miorine, I'm assuming Miorin Delling, is that her name? I'm not sure, probably. Somehow she's crucial in that. The winner will marry Delling's only daughter. Delling is the president of the Benerit Group. The Mercury base is also part of the group's property. It was President Delling who labeled Mom and the others as witches and launched a witch hunt against them. Why didn't they manage to hunt her then? Or did she already take her Prospera persona when the witch hunt was launched? I don't know exactly what Mom's plans are. But one thing for sure, she seems to be lost in her quest for revenge to the point where she's willing to use her daughter, to use her creation that calls her mother, so essentially her other daughter, all for the sake of revenge. It doesn't even seem to be. It doesn't even seem to be the case of, you know, I'm willing to sacrifice myself and even Ariel if that means Suletta has a better life kind of deal. It's not, I need to shake up the status quo of this world for the future of my daughter. It's not, I want to make the world a better place. It's just, I want to exact revenge. There's no there's no higher meaning to that. There's no higher goal. And even Ariel knows it. Even if you're going to school for the sake of mom's revenge, and even if it's mom's words that give you this courage, gain more than you lose and make it worth your while. Hmm. You don't have to be mom's tool. You don't have to take on someone else's curse. I wish I could tell her what's going on, that mom is using her as a tool for revenge. Hmm. The seemingly complete disregard that Prospera has for her daughter's future. I don't know. I don't know what to think of it, honestly. She didn't strike me as that kind of person in the prologue. But then again, a lot has happened since the prologue. Hmm. Just you watch, everybody, our daughter is going to avenge us. Yeah, this line right here. Just you watch, everybody, our daughter is going to avenge us. It's not her who's plotting a revenge, or rather, she is plotting the revenge, but she doesn't want to exact it herself. She wants her daughter to avenge them. To avenge her, to avenge her husband, and their daughter is supposed to avenge her mother and her father. Her father that died singing her happy birthday, and her mother that seemingly lost her mind in her quest for revenge. I don't necessarily fault her entirely, but it's still iffy using your daughter, using your daughters, essentially, as tools for revenge. Hmm. But in the end, Ariel can be convinced by Suletta that yeah, we should go. If you go, you gain 2. If you run, you gain 1. So you should go and take that risk. It's ominous. Very ominous. This whole ending segment is extremely ominous. Of course, we'll be together, we're family. Seems like foreshadowing that they won't, in fact, be together, that they will be split somehow. Then you have gain more than you lose and make it worth your while, which foreshadows that Suletta is going to lose. She's going to lose quite a lot, but in the end, whatever she loses will be worth it. But will it? What kind of worth it is it foreshadowing? Is it foreshadowing the kind of worth it where, I don't know, the kind of worth it where, oh, and I just I just realized, yeah, Miorin Delling is the bearded guy. Duh. Yeah, I get it now. Okay. Uh, Disregard. Um, the kind of worth it where everything actually has a good ending. Maybe someone dies, I don't know, but in the end, everything ends well. Maybe Delling dies, maybe Delling gives up his company for Miorin, maybe the whole corpocracy is dismantled, And Miorin and Suletta and Chuchu and everybody else gets to live happily ever after. Maybe Prospera gives up her life. Maybe she just dies. Maybe she has to be killed by Suletta. Maybe some background characters die. I don't know, Guel or whoever else, right? Those things, but in the end, it was worth it because we made the world a better place. We managed to make this brand new Gundam technology more mainstream, right? People can now safely use it, and Miorin and Suletta can live happily ever after. So, in that sense, you gain more than you lose. You lost some friends, you lost your mother, but you gained stability in the system, and you gained freedom and whatnot. Or are they going to go for the kind of bullshit, uh, bullshit worth it, as I like to call it, where everybody rocks fall, everybody dies, the system doesn't change, but you made some friends along the way, so it was all worth it. You died, and all your friends died, but nobody's going to take away the time you spent together. I wonder which kind of worth it is gonna be. Is it gonna be a good end? Is it gonna be a bad end? Before episode 6, yeah, episode 6, where what was his face? The Ice Prince. I'm just gonna call him. The Ice Prince died and was revealed to be a body double essentially, and was incinerated. Before then, I was inclined to think that we might see ultimately a good end with some bittersweet moments because that's what the prologue prepared us for. That sure there will be strife, sure there will be battle, sure there will be sadness and drama, but ultimately it's all gonna end well. But after the previous episode, after episode 6, I'm not so certain anymore. I'm not so sure what kind of an ending we're going to get for the series. Now it's a bit too early to be talking about it because as I said, we still do have a whole second core of essentially a split core season, so I don't want to rush ahead of myself. Huh. But yeah, this novel certainly gave a lot of added detail, a lot of detail that kind of fills in all the blanks and confirms some of the things that I thought of, like Suletta's mother just losing her mind and succumbing only to revenge. This seems to be a direct confirmation of that. Will there be a face of Suletta versus her mother? Possibly, with what I can see in this novel. It's possible. It's possible that Prospera will take Ariel away from Suletta, and she's going to use Ariel to, I don't know, exact revenge and self-destruct it or something. And Suletta is going to have to stop her own mother from doing that to save Ariel. Perfectly possible. Couple of things still don't add up, like why she was branded a witch, why were they shunned from Earth by Delling himself. Why didn't Delling just off her in a dark alley if she knows that she's a witch? That's still unclear. My suspicion is that she took the new identity after the witch hunts began. So this novel says that, oh yeah, they're hunting her, but the true her, not Lady Prospera. Uh, what else doesn't add up? I guess the fact that Ariel is sentient but doesn't have a ways of communicating, that's kind of weird. Although we don't know the degree of this sentience, is this novel just a very romanticized view of it, or is it actually that Ariel has independent, proper thoughts? Hmm. I think that's it. I don't think I have anything more to say. I've already been spinning in circles with what I have been saying, so I'm gonna spare you that even more of that spinning, and we're just gonna end it here. So let's switch to this view. And of course, episode 7 is coming on the channel. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Hopefully not next week. Although I'm gonna have to check my schedule at my job to figure out what kind of a schedule I have for this week. It's going to change again, so things can go very fucky wacky. But yeah, next episode is coming. And if I missed something in my reading of the novel right here, then I'm gonna make up for it in the episode. If not episode 7, then in episode 8. I'm gonna read your comments as long as they're not spoilers. And if I have anything more to say, if something else pops into my mind, I'm just gonna say it. What else? I don't think anything else. So I'm just gonna give the voice to you. So let me know in the comments below what did you think of this novel, of my reading of it, of my impressions, and my read of the events in it, or anything else you want to talk about. What are your impressions? What do you think this story talks about, and things like that? As long as it's not a spoiler for episode 7 and 8. Uh, Please don't spoil me. I know that I'm an episode behind, but I beg of you, don't punish me for that with spoilers. If you do want to talk spoilers, though, here, Discord, also in the description, join it. There's a Gundam channel, very active. Many people are posting entire spoiler walls in there, so feel free to join them. Like this video if you liked it, disliked it if you disliked it, tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of Gundam Witch from Mercury, Symphogear Axis, Arknights, Prelude to Dawn, Tensei, Shitara, and Deshita, and the management of a novice alchemist. And whenever I have the time, I'm going to record Madoka Magica Rebellion, so be on the lookout for that. I also stream sometimes, so you might want to click the bell to be notified whenever I go live. Mostly gacha games, so if that's your thing, welcome. Subscribe, yeah, support the channel if you want monetarily. Patreon throne links in the description below. For $10 you get early access to non-seasonals like Symphogear, like Madoka, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord, a place in the credits, and some seasonal early access to some of the seasonals when sometimes I record 2 episodes ahead of time, or I catch up and I record 2 episodes, then one of the episodes is gonna go a week early on that $1 tier. So you might want to check that out if that's something you wanna see early. Next, Throne. If you want, you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better gear, better software, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, it's completely and utterly free. Share my content, spread the word. It does help grow the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And outro. And here's the list of my Patreon supporters, and you can be one of them if you want, of course.